Max class. In this video, we are going to learn about decimal numbers. Last video, we learned what is decimal number and its place value. Alright. So in this video, we'll be learning about the expansion method, like the three ways how to write the expansion form that we will learn in this video, as well as we'll be learning about the types of decimal fractions. So let's get inside the video. So first we are going to see the expanded form of decimal numbers. So as I said earlier, there are three methods, or you can say three forms to write in decimal, to write the decimal numbers expansion. So the first one is place value form, and the second one is decimal form, and the third one is fractional form. So I hope that in this video will explain you clearly about these three forms so that you'll be able to understand more in detail. So let me explain this topic with an example. So the question is expand 493.2. So I have the decimal number 493.2. I have to write an expansion form. So now I'm going to explain this sum with three types. In all the three forms, I'll be explaining the expansion method. Okay, so let's get inside the solution. So first we'll be seeing about the place value form. So how can I expand and write in terms of place value form? So I hope that you can see on the screen. So here the question is 493.2. According to the name, we'll be expanding in terms of place value. So now if you take the place value for 4 is 100. So how can I write 4 hundreds plus 9, the place value is tens. So I'll write 9 tens, plus the place value for 3 is ones. So 3 ones, plus now the place value for decimal 2 is tenth. So I can write it as 2 tenth. Okay, so understood. This is how you write the expanded form in terms of place value. Okay, the first form, that is place value form, will be writing by keeping the place value of the numbers. So 4 hundreds plus 9 tens plus 3 ones plus 2 tenth. Clear? Fine. Next we are going to see the decimal form. So how can I write the expansion in decimal form? So same way, we'll, instead of writing in words, we'll write in numbers. So 4 is in the place value of 100. So how can I write 400, that is 400 plus 90 plus 3 plus, after that, after 3 I have a decimal number, that is 0.2. Now 2 is in the 10th place value, right? So how can I write? I can write it as 0.2. So 0 represents the whole number, point, the decimal point, then I have 2 there, so 0.2. Clear? So for decimal form expansion, how I'll write 400 plus 90 plus 3 plus 0.2. Suppose if we had after 2, after decimal 2, if you have another number like 3, then how you will write? You will write it as plus 0.03, because 3 is in the second place value, right? After decimal point, it is in the second place value, it is in the 100th place value. So for 10th place value, I will put 0 and then I will write 3. Clear? Fine. The last place value expansion form is fractional form. So how can I write in fractional form? So same way, 400 plus 90 plus 3 plus, I already said the decimal form, the decimal number is nothing but the decimal fraction form, right? So I can write it as 2 by 10. Okay, so how can I write 400 plus 90 plus 3 plus 2 by 10? Clear? So here I have explained the three forms of writing the expansion. So first one is place value form, which we will be writing in words. 4 hundreds plus 9 tens plus 3 ones plus 2 tens. 10, T-E-N-T-H. Okay, so remember, you should not write T-E-N-S alone, you should write T-H. Okay, that's very important. And next comes decimal form. So in decimal form, how can I write? It is just 400 plus 90 plus 3 plus 0.2. Okay, so instead of you can write it as 0.2. See, for example, you can write it generally as 0.2, but sometime the point will not be visible. Okay, so that's why when I put a 0 in front, so this point will be more visible for us, so that's why we write it as 0.2. Now this 0 is representing that before point I have some numbers. Okay, I already shown in front, so just I'm going to represent it by 0. Point, after point I directly have 2, so I'm writing 2 directly. Clear? Suppose if I had any other number like 1, then how I'll write? Plus 0.01, because 1 is in the second place, right? After decimal is in the second place. So for the previous place I'll put 0 and then I'll put 1. So if I had another number, then how I'll write? Plus 0.00 and then that number. Clear? So this is how you write in decimal form, expansion in decimal form. Clear? Fine. So now if you're going to write in fractional form, so same way for the whole number there is no changes. You will write as it is 400 plus 90 plus 3 plus, for decimal how you will write, since it is in the 10th place you will write it as 2 by 10. So for the next number how you will write? Suppose if you had another number 3, okay, so how you, or suppose if you had a number as 5, so how you will write? Plus 5 by, now 5 is in the 100th place, right? So you will write it as 100. If you had another number, how you will write? Plus that number by 1000. Clear? So this is how you write in expansion form. Understood? Fine. So if in the question, if they have asked only the question as write in expansion form, you can use any one method. But if they have mentioned write the convert or expand the following decimal number in fractional form or in place value form, then you have to use that method alone. So have that in your mind. Clear? Fine. Now we are going to see the next one, that is types of decimal. Okay, how many types of decimal fractions are there? We are going to see. So first we are going to see is like decimal fraction. The word like represent means what? It will be same or equal, right? Yes. So the same way, what does it like decimal means? Like decimal means if the decimals have equal number of decimal places. Okay, it is not that same number. It is saying equal number of decimal places. Let me explain you with an example. So if you see here 0.43 or 10.41 or 182.86, in all these numbers, if you can see after decimal point, how many decimal numbers are there or how many decimal places are there? Can you guess? Yes. How many are there? Yes, there are 2 decimal places, right? For example, in 0.43, after decimal point I have 2 numbers. In 10.41, after decimal I have 2 numbers, right? In 182.86, after decimal, how many numbers I have? 2 numbers. So can you see, after decimal point I have 2 numbers. So this is called as like decimals, where I have equal number of decimal places. Numbers can be different, it doesn't matter, but the decimal places are same. Clear? Fine. So if you see, let me give another one example. Suppose you can see the next example, 47.68 and 76.987. So if you see, these are not decimal numbers. Why? Because you can see clearly in 47.68, after decimal point I have 2, right? 2 numbers. In 76.987, after decimal point, how many numbers I have? 3 numbers. So which means what? It differs. There it had only 2 numbers. Here I have, after decimal point I have 3 decimal places. So we'll call it, it is not like fraction. So this is not like fraction. Then what does it mean? If it is not like fraction, then what is the name for this fraction? Right? You have this doubt, right? Yes, we call it as unlike decimal fraction. So what is unlike decimal fraction? If the decimal numbers, if they have unequal number of decimal places, we call it as unlike decimal fraction. So I have given example 8.4, then 8.41, then 98.459. If you see all these three decimal numbers, in the first decimal number, after decimal point I have only one number. In the next decimal number, after decimal point, how many numbers I have? I have two decimal numbers. The next decimal number 98.459, after decimal point, how many places I have? Three decimal places. Did you see? Each time the number differs, that is the decimal places differs. In it was 1, here it is 2, and it is 3. So that's why we call it as unlike decimal fraction. Clear, everyone? Yes. Now if it is unlike decimal fraction, it doesn't look good, right? So how to convert this unlike decimal fraction to like decimal fraction? You have this doubt, right? Yes, how to convert? Yes, there is a solution. So what to do? How to change unlike to like decimal fraction? Just very simple. Okay, just find out the maximum decimal places and try to bring the other decimal number by inserting 0. Have you understood? No problem. Let me explain you with an example. See, suppose for example, you can see I have given an example 93.419, 184.3 and 413.23. So it is clearly visible that all three are unlike decimal fraction. Why? Because after decimal point the decimal places differs. Here I have 3 decimal places, here I have 1 decimal place, and here I have 2 decimal place, right? So it is a unlike decimal fraction. So how to convert, how to change? Now which is the maximum, 3 or 2 or 1? 3 is the largest number comparing to the other one, right? So which means what? The decimal number, that is why I am asking you to find the highest value, because if you see in all these questions, in this 3 question, for the first one I have 3 decimal places, but for the remaining ones it is only 1 or 2 decimal places. So 3 is the bigger one comparing to 1 and 2, right? So I should convert the remaining decimal places to 3. So I should convert the remaining the decimal numbers for 184.3. No, I should bring it so that the decimal numbers after decimal point I have decimal number. No, it should be 3. So how can I do that? Very simple. Just put 0. Okay. See, for example, let me show you. So I need to convert all the above decimal can be converted to like decimal by adding 0 at the end. Just put 0 at the end. So for example, take 93.419. I'll keep 93.419 because it is a highest decimal number. It has the highest decimal places after decimal point. So I'll keep as it is. Now I'll go for the next one, 184.3. Now 184.3, after decimal point I have only one number, but how many I need? I need 3 decimal places. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 0. How many zeros I need to put? Already I have one number, so I'm going to put only 2 zeros. Now if you see 184.300, the value remains same, as well as after decimal point I got 3 decimal places. Understood? Value has not changed, because at the end only I have put 0, so value has not changed. At the same time my decimal place value has become 3. I have got 3 decimal places after decimal point, right? Yes. So I'll take another one, for example 413.23. Now after point how many numbers I have? 2 numbers, right? But how many should be there decimal places? How many decimal places should be there? I need 3 decimal places to bring like decimal, right? So what I'm going to put? I'll put only 1 0. So when I put 1 0, what happened? Automatically it has become 3 decimals. So can you see now? Can you see here? So all the decimal after point, all the decimal numbers here I have, how many places I have? 3 decimal places. So now we can call it as like decimals. Understood? See here in this question everything was different, because first one I had 3, after decimal point here I had only 1, here I had only 2. But if you see after inserting 0, after decimal point, all the numbers I have got how many? 333. Okay, so simple. You don't need to multiply, you don't need to add, you don't need to put any formulas. Just put 0. Find out how many zeros I should put and put that much of 0. That's enough. That's more than enough. Understood? So for example, let me give you some more example. Suppose 2.1 and I have another one is 3.76. Okay, so obviously it is unlike decimal. Why? Because here after decimal point I had only one decimal places, but here I have two decimal places, so it is unlike fraction. So what I should do? I should convert. Now if you see, after decimal point, here I have two places, here I have one place. So which one is greater? Two places greater. So which means what? I am not going to do anything with this. I am just going to keep as it is. 3.76 will remain as it is. I am going to do changes here only. What I am going to do? Write the question. 2.1 after decimal point, how many should be there? I need two places. Already I have one place. So what I should put? I should put only 10. Now do you see? I got two places. So 2.10, 3.76. Now both are same number of decimal places. So this is called as like decimal fractions. Understood? Yes. So this is how we convert. So now you can see, after decimal point you can see all the numbers are having equal decimal places. So this is what we call as like decimal, and this is how we convert. Clear? Understood? So I hope in this video you have learned how to write an expanded form as well as how to convert unlike decimals to like decimal. So just do sums which is given in your textbook, and watch if you have any doubt, just watch again this video. I hope in this video it clears and explains clearly about the expansion form as well as conversion of decimal. I'll meet you all in the next video with an interesting topic. Thank you everyone.